Hi folks, welcome once again to Mr. H's Weekly Recaps, where we give you a rundown on what's happening in room 1925 here at the high school. Really quickly before we talk about some of our classes, a couple reminders about some upcoming events. Winter break will be here before we know it, and we want to let everybody know the dates of those. We have a half day on the 23rd of December, which is going to be coming up here in about 2 weeks, and then Christmas break, since Christmas falls on a Sunday, and that kind of messes up everybody's schedule a little bit. Break is going to run from the 26th through January 2nd. So we'll be back on the 3rd, and we'll be getting back into kind of the swing of things, that frantic rush towards finals week to get everybody ready. With that being said, students will probably be getting an end of semester checklist, a study guide for finals before they leave for the Christmas break. So look for that, and obviously we'll be posting that online and giving some more information out in class as we go forward. This Friday is also mid-marking period, so I've been encouraging students, if they have late assignments, put those in before progress reports come out, but progress reports will probably be coming out from the guidance office very, very shortly here. Let's talk a little bit about our Gov class. We got a couple activities going on right now in Gov. Currently in our unit, we are wrapping up Unit 3, our government unit, talking a little bit about the judiciary. So most of this week has been dominated by the Supreme Court, talking about, case procedure, talking about types of cases, talking about, qualifications and picking up justices, the confirmation process. Students right now are working on an activity where, as a lot of us know, we have a vacancy on the court after the death of Justice Scalia. So students are looking at the resumes of 4 fictional but prospective justices, since it doesn't seem like Judge Garland's nomination is going to be heard anytime soon. They are looking at a potential filler, and what they're doing is they're vetting the candidates, they're looking at their resumes, they're researching the people who have endorsed them, they are considering whether or not they would actually make it through a confirmation hearing or even make it through the United States Senate, for that matter, in a vote. And then they're basically writing a memo to President Obama stating why their candidate is the best and what evidence they think will allow them to be a good justice, keep the balance on the court, be effective in their job, and also, get through the confirmation process as a whole. The other item that we've been looking at this week is continuing to get folks ready for our Student Cam project. Students this week turned in resources, and they submitted those on Wednesday. On Friday this week, they're going to be submitting kind of an outline of what they'd like their video production to be. This is like a 5 to 7 minute documentary they're going to be making on an issue that they're passionate about, under the guidance of a C-SPAN theme that talks about the idea of what should the new president, the new Congress really focus on in 2017. Next week, we'll have some work days set aside, and students kind of know those dates already. But we'll be doing mini lessons those days to kind of keep the focus also on finals, kind of keep them moving, but also giving them time in class to collaborate and work with their peers to create these videos. When we come back from Christmas break, that kind of 4-day week, we'll probably do a little film festival at some point and kind of look at everybody's work, critique, offer questions and comments, and the best will get entered into the C-SPAN competition that's going to be running through the end of January. So hopefully we'll have some good things that come out of that as well. For the Honors World guys, we are currently in DBQ writing once again. This week is peer evaluation week, so students have been assigned a partner, and they're basically going over their writings, going over their essays, offering suggestions, comments, help, and then they'll be filling out the DBQ rubric and turning that in on Monday of the following week for my consideration. And I'll kind of look at how their peer evaluator grade them, offer, support or maybe disagree respectively with some of those thoughts, and we'll offer up an official grade from there. I'm also in the process of reading rewrites of our first DBQ essay on the Reformation, and hopefully we'll have those done before the end of the week, and students will get a chance to see those. Thus far, all the grades are improving, which is great. The main purpose of why we do this type of writing in honors is we want to get folks ready for AP. And we know a lot of students from the honors track tend to take AP their senior year, or at least consider it. We want to make sure that they have the writing skills and the training so that when they go into those AP classes, whether they be APUSH, whether they be AP Gov or AP Macro, they have an experience with using primary sources, using resources to support their points, and really know what the AP teachers are going to expect from them, and not be that deer in the headlights. As far as content for the course, this week is Imperialism Week. We've been talking a lot about examples of imperialism as we start to get out of the 19th century and into the 20th century. talking about imperialism on the African continent, looking at the British in India, and kind of laying the framework for what in the 20th century is going to be the independence movement in India with Gandhi and nonviolent resistance. Also talking about China with the Opium Wars, looking at Japan with Commodore Perry and sort of some of the residual effects that that's going to have on the rise of Imperial Japan and kind of the lead up to World War II. While we don't talk about the war directly, we do mention it. Students should have a pretty good comprehension of what World War II is all about, thanks to their US2 teachers. That's a little bit of a rundown of what's going on. If you have questions, comments, feel free to reach out via email. Follow on Twitter for updates of kind of what's going on in class as far as activities and projects. And we'll see you guys again next week.